Hello guys and welcome back to another Battles 2 video. In this today's video I'm going to throw back the guide which was very outdated, especially since all the constant updates and all the bugs fixed, such as the laser shock stacking which was absolutely insane. So let's turn around and commence the guide. So the number one tip is to use the best towers and strategies as humanly possible. Regularly check out the game's changelog for more details, such as the balance changes which are the most notable meta shifters when it comes to adjusting various things. If a tower is overtuned or ridiculously strong, abuse it as much as possible, as the game also received a new update not too long ago which emergency nerfed both the druid and the village. However, they'll still be pretty strong, especially for the latter, so always find the best strategies when pairing those powerful towers such as Darkling Super Village, one of the most recognizable loadouts for sure, that is capable of having so much late game versatility, but it's susceptible to round 13 rushes as Darkling isn't really the best rush vendor currently, as you pretty much use Benjamin with this loadout, because it gives you extra filthy lucre to afford your defenses, and has the biohack ability to add extra damage to your Hydra rocket pods, but after it times out, the biohack will immobilize your rocket pods, making it easier to rush past it. It's a great late game loadout, but you won't be able to effectively use it on shorter maps due to the amount of aggression given and the amount of banana farm users you'll encounter. There's also underrated loadouts that can effectively work, such as Boat Mortar Sniper on Castle Ruins, which usually plays out by starting with a boat into a 2-3-0 cannon ship, which defends everything pretty nicely with biker bones and mortar in your composition, and you have access to supply drop farms later in the match because of Sniper, which can be a good rush defender if needed, especially for MOB class Bloons. There's also strategies like Druid sub farm that are pretty versatile for maps like Sands of Time, which mainly utilizes the hero up to buff your druid's early game, which builds into a 2-0-3 druid for hyper countering the early game no problem, especially with the maximum life buff. For rush fending, you'll have access to submarines that can even launch intercontinental ballistic missiles at the Bloons, which is crazy, but it does require the advanced targeting path to do so, and your submarine has the decammer built in via the submergent support, which helps you out against camo rushes, since it can be relied on and it'll be a nuclear reactor to hyper counter cameras and help defend the likes of round 13. Which is why Druid sub farm is a very good loadout, because you can get some pretty good greed early on. The second tip is to effectively eco. For round 1, constantly send reds. If you're on PC, you can hold the A hotkey to send the first Bloon send, which is reds, and it'll turn into grouped greens once round 12 hits, and so on. If you're playing on shorter maps, it's often better to send spaced Bloons, especially with a farm loadout like Dart Farm Mortar, as it could allow you to hold more money to afford the likes of your hero, a defensive upgrade, or even a farm. For pure or hybrid eco loadouts, you'll want to send grouped Bloons such as round 3 blues. However, round 4 spaced pinks are slightly more efficient than both of the early Bloon sends, making it the applicable spaced Bloon send for early game efficiency, which can allow you to save up for constantly sending round 5 grouped greens, depending on how much you've spent on defense. Spaced whites may be slightly better, especially when the money runs out on grouped greens. Round 6, send spaced black Bloons, regardless of strategy. Round 7, send as many yellows as you can. You may send a lot if you have towers like Tack Shooter or the Boomerang Thrower that can cheaply defend the early game. Round 8, you can send spaced Bloons as you'll need to save up for mid-game defense eventually, Spaced purples are slightly inefficient, but they do work against towers like Wizard, depending on the placements and the hero choice. Round 9 you can send spaced zebras, if needed to maximize your economy. You can even send some regen zebras, to apply some pressure to your opponent, especially with low DPS towers like Ninja. Round 10 you'll send reds as they are efficient for saving up for defense. Round 11 you'll probably won't eco, since it's a round where actual rushing is possible. Ones being grouped purples, and grouped zebras, especially with the regen modifier. Round 12 unlocks the camo modifier, which usually isn't worth as D-camo towers just hyper counter them anyway, so you'll be able to send the likes of spaced rainbows as they're an okay send now. Because they got nerfed a lot, it still applies pressure to the opponent depending on the towers they have. And for round 13, you can send the likes of grouped yellow, grouped white or black blue Nico to maximize it. You may send the former or maybe even grouped greens depending on the playstyle, especially against farm users, where they'll just send you rushes even on round 13. As this round unlocks the deadliest regen rainbow rush of Doom, which can be detrimental if you don't have the right towers to deal with them. Hybrid eco loadouts don't really need an absurdly high eco to proceed, because they got stuff like supply drop farming with the sniper monkey to do so. For farm loadouts, you pretty much send spaced eco as it's efficient for your farm economy. The only time you would send grouped Bloons is on round 1 with the reds, as those are efficient till round 4. And round 13 plus you'll be able to send grouped black or white blue Nico as it can help supplement your late game economy with farms. Yellow blue Nico can also work as well as green blue Nico, as it can help save up more, especially in a sticky situation. And finally, the third tip is to utilize micromanagement. It may not suit some of your playstyles, but you definitely need to learn how to maximize the tower's potential with buying and selling, especially on tower abilities such as the Monkey Ace's Ground Zero and the Monkey Buccaneer's Mob Takedown. Depending on what slot you've selected on those towers, the hotkeys vary, as using the Q hotkey will always select your hero. A for selecting the first tower, like Dart Monkey, W for selecting the second tower, like Bomb Shooter, and E for selecting the third tower, such as the Ninja Monkey. So always remember the hotkey combinations if you're playing on PC, as it can help with your playstyle significantly. And for upgrading your towers, Path 1 upgrading uses a left V hotkey, while Path 2 upgrading uses the right V hotkey, and Path 3 upgrading uses the question mark hotkey, which helps save time especially if you're inexperienced. Abilities uses hotkeys, mainly the number keys, such as 1 for using the first ability slot, which is usually your hero's ability like Quince's rapid shot, then 2 for using the second ability slot, which is the likes of a level 10 hero ability such as Quince's Storm of Arrows, or an activated ability such as Blade Maelstrom on the tack shooter, and so on. Recognizing the hotkey pattern on PC allows you to do so many plays, especially for quick reactionary, and it helps with microing, since selling a tower by default uses the back hotkey, which can help in that department. Those tips should help make you feel better when playing battles too, which will greatly increase the chances of overpowering your opponent by a margin. Trust me, those are the best tips by the real other user, and that is pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe, like and turn on notifications bell to support me, and comment down below if you want more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to use my creator code RealOtherUser in the BTD6 or Battles to shop, to greatly strengthen the support even further. And we'll see you vivacious guys in the next one. Adios.